We're live from New Delhi. You're watching the India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India remembers statesman Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on his birth anniversary, occasion being celebrated as National Unity Day across the country. UN Security Council debates West Asia situation. India calls for an early and peaceful resolution of the conflict through dialogue and diplomacy. With few days left for US presidential election, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are holding tight competing rallies as the pair fights for undecided voters. Spain battles deadliest flood in decades as death toll rises to 95. Government declares 3 days of mourning. India and people across the world celebrate Festival of Lights, Diwali. Northern city Ayodhya's festive celebration sets 2 new Guinness World Records. First up, National Unity Day, also known as Rashtriya Ekta Divas, is celebrated annually in India on October 31st. The day commemorates the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a pivotal figure in the country's struggle for independence and the first Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister of India. This day serves to promote national integration, unity and harmony among its citizens, reflecting Patel's vision of a united India. The idea of National Unity Day was first proposed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi during a speech in 2014. The day was officially declared in 2014 to honor Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's contributions to the integration of over 500 princely states into the Indian Union after independence in 1947. Well, this year marks the 148th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. His efforts in promoting national unity and his role in shaping modern India are remembered through various programs and initiatives held on this day. Well, the purpose of National Unity Day, or Rashtriya Ekta Divas as it is called, is to commemorate the efforts of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in unifying India after independence. Its aim is to promote national unity and integrity and strengthen the sense of oneness among its citizens. The slogan for Rashtriya Ekta Divas is United we stand and divided we fall. We may tell you Rashtriya Ekta Divas, or National Unity Day, is observed annually on October 31st to commemorate the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. And moving on, India reiterated its support for an early and peaceful resolution of the conflict through dialogue and diplomacy, highlighting India's stand at the UN Security Council open debate on the situation in the West Asia. Permanent representatives of India to the United Nations, Parvathaneni Harish, said that India is ready to do more for the Palestinian people while stressing upon immediate release of all hostages from the captivity of Hamas.
The people of Palestine are in dire need of humanitarian assistance. We have been calling for safe, timely and unimpeded humanitarian supply to the affected population. As we have repeatedly demonstrated in the past, India stands ready to do more for the Palestinian people. We are committed to carrying out human-centric projects for the people of Palestine in diverse sectors. Our thrust is on projects that have a tangible and lasting impact on the daily lives of the people. The terror attacks in Israel on 7th October were shocking, and they deserve our unequivocal condemnation. There can be no justification for terrorism and hostage-taking. India has a long-standing and uncompromising position against terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. At this juncture, I reiterate India's call for an immediate release of all hostages and a ceasefire.
Well, the disengagement exercise between India and China in Depsang and Demchok has been completed. According to defense sources, the Indian armed forces are conducting verification. Sources also added that coordinated patrolling will start soon by both the sides. Ground commanders will continue to hold talks. The two sides will exchange sweets for Diwali on Thursday. The Indian and Chinese troops were verifying the vacation of positions and removal of infrastructure. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri on October 21st announced that New Delhi and Beijing reached an agreement to disengage in the remaining friction points at LAC near eastern Ladakh. And as India celebrates the Festival of Lights Diwali, President of India Draupadi Murmu greeted the nation on this auspicious occasion. She extended her warm wishes to all the Indians at home and abroad. Diwali, recognized as a festival of happiness, symbolizes the victory of knowledge over ignorance and good over evil, celebrated with great zeal. She emphasized the opportunity to eliminate our conscience, adopt love and compassion, and promote social harmony while taking pride in India's heritage. Also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi extended his Diwali greetings. Sharing on X, he wrote, and I quote, "Many happy wishes to the countrymen on Diwali. On this divine festival of lights, I wish everyone a healthy, happy and prosperous life. May everyone prosper with the blessings of Ma Lakshmi and Lord Shri Ganesha." Unquote. Well, on the eve of Diwali, the 8th edition of Deepotsav in Ayodhya witnessed the setting of 2 Guinness World Records. These included the highest number of participants performing a simultaneous diya rotation and the largest display of oil lamps.
So basically, in the last 6 days, we prepared this Ram Ki Pedi as well as the Lakshman Ghat area where the Saryu Aarti happens for 2 different attempts. So we created new records for both the attempts. For Aarti it is 1121 and for oil lamps it is 25 lakh 1200 and 585.
Well, the festive fever goes high in India as the country celebrates Diwali with pomp and show. People decorated their homes with dazzling lights and colourful rangolis. DD India correspondent Ayushi Ahuja brings you this report.
Diwali, the festival of lights, celebrated by millions worldwide. In Sanskrit, Diwali or Deepavali means row of lights, symbolizing the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and the promise of new beginnings. Every diya, every light tells a story of hope, resilience, and love. Traditionally, Diwali celebrates the return of Lord Ram to Ayodhya after his 14 years exile, as well as defeating the demon king Ravan, bringing peace and harmony to his kingdom.
The spirit of Diwali is in the air. Shoppers are bustling in bazaars, children are looking forward to fireworks, and the warm glow of celebration is shared with friends and families.
Diwali is all about preparations, deep cleaning, fresh decor, and bringing in touches of gold and silver for good fortune. And what's Diwali without food? From jalebi to kaju katli to gulab jamun, every bite holds a memory waiting to be made. Also, Diwali without lights? That's like sweet without sugar. Twinkling fairy lights are everywhere. Indoors, outdoors, wrapped around stairs, adorning plants, adding sparkle to every corner. No Diwali is complete without rangoli. Families design pattern on floors using colored sand, rice flour, or powdered limestone for a warm welcome to guests and a way to invite the goddess Lakshmi. Colors make Diwali come alive. Using marigold flowers, rose petals and green leaves is a way of saying welcome to good vibes. Plus, these decorations are as eco-friendly as they are beautiful.
We do sculpture candles, which is kind of really different. Let's use soy wax, let's use natural wax. There are so many, different types of wax, and also coconut wax. So why go for paraffin? Because it releases a lot of soot. So to reduce pollution, this is our attempt.
People are also embracing sustainable decor. Think natural lanterns, torans that make your home shine while respecting the planet.
Diwali is the most beautiful festival in our country, and I always like to decorate my house. There are many lights, temple lights, all things are available, and I always enjoy it.
Diwali is always a very special occasion for me and my family. It holds a great place in my heart. We always decorate the house with colorful diyas, flowers. There's rangoli everywhere. We are always together with the family, so we get to spend a good time.
From lighting sparklers to setting off fireworks, Diwali is an experience for all the senses. Diwali is also a time for prayers, and people also leave offerings to goddess Lakshmi, the Hindu goddess of wealth, for good luck and prosperity. The glow of diyas, earthen oil lamps, and the crackle of fireworks create a magical backdrop for this celebration of lights.
Whether we are lighting diyas or praying for abundance, Diwali reminds us that even in the darkest of time, light is to be found. Here's wishing you all a very happy and joyful Diwali. May the light within you shine bright. With camera person Aniket Dubey, I am Ayushi Ahuja, reporting for DD India.
Well, Diwali is now celebrated around the world, uniting communities in joy and tradition. Here's a look at how Diwali lights up across the globe. Nancy Baloda brings us more.
Diwali spirit has travelled worldwide with celebrations that embrace local culture. Thousands gathered in London's Trafalgar Square to celebrate Diwali, with organisers estimating around 10,000 participants, including members of the UK's Asian community, tourists and local residents. In Nepal, known as Tihar, Diwali celebrates the bond between humans and animals with rituals dedicated to dogs, cows and other animals. In Sri Lanka, Diwali mirrors Indian celebrations with families lighting lamps, setting off fireworks and sharing sweets in honor of Lord Ram's victory. In Malaysia, Hari Diwali is a public holiday that begins with an oil bath followed by temple prayers and gatherings to enjoy traditional foods. Singapore's Diwali transforms Serangoon Road with festive lights. Indian bazaars and food stalls create a vibrant memory for locals and tourists alike. In the United States, Times Square hosts an annual Diwali event featuring performances, food stalls, fireworks, while schools and workplaces increasingly recognize the festival. In South Africa, Diwali's spirit shines with oil lamps, fireworks and shared meals. From Nepal to New York, Diwali's themes of light, unity and celebration have taken root globally, reflecting a tradition that brings communities together in every corner of the world. Nancy Baloda's report for DD India.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. US and South Korean defense chiefs called for North Korea to withdraw its troops from Russia. Georgia president refuses to appear in election fraud probe. And Rabada claims #1 spot in ICC Test bowlers rankings.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, a Russian-guided bomb struck the 4th floor of a high-rise apartment building in Kharkiv. According to the Kharkiv governor, the strike had injured at least 29 people and triggered a fire and destroyed most of one entrance, making a huge hole in the building. Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the attack underscored the need for more military aid from Ukraine's Western allies. And the US and South Korean defense chiefs on Wednesday called for North Korea to withdraw its troops from Russia. Speaking at a press conference at the Pentagon with the South Korean defense minister, US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said that some 10,000 North Korean forces were already deployed to eastern Russia, wearing Russian uniforms and carrying Russian equipment. Russia and North Korea have deepened their political and military alliance as the Ukraine conflict has dragged on, but sending Pyongyang's troops into combat against Kyiv's forces would mark a significant escalation that has sparked widespread international concern.
Now, we're closely tracking the unprecedented level of direct military cooperation between Russia and the DPRK. In our meetings today, we shared our deep concerns about the deployment of DPRK troops to Russia. We also discussed how we're going to work together with our allies and partners to respond to this dangerous and destabilizing escalation. The evidence now suggests that North Korea has sent around 10,000 soldiers to train in eastern Russia. And some of these DPRK troops have already moved closer to Ukraine. And we're seeing them outfitted with Russian uniforms and provided with Russian equipment. And I am increasingly concerned that the Kremlin plans to use these North Korean soldiers to support Russia's combat operations in Russia's Kursk region near the border with Ukraine.
Well, on the same day, Russia's ambassador to the United Nations, Vasily Nebenzia, denied that North Korean troops were present on its front lines and accused Washington and its allies of disinformation. Well, also, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky strongly suggested in a video released on Wednesday that Kyiv has requested supplies of long-range U.S. Tomahawk missiles. Speaking at the press conference, the president said Ukraine asked for the long-range missiles as part of its victory plan. Zelensky traveled to the United States last month to pitch a victory plan to President Joe Biden, which he said could help pressure Moscow to negotiate an end to the war in good faith.
When a lot of countries began to support victory plan, you see what's going on now in media, they said that Ukraine wants or wanted a lot of missiles like Tomahawks and etc. But it was confidential information between Ukraine and White House. How to understand these messages? So it means between partners, there is no any confidential things.
And U.S. presidential candidates are leaving no stone unturned to sway away voters ahead of the November 5th polls. Vice President Kamala Harris rallied before thousands on Wednesday at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, as part of a final swing through the battleground states ahead of Election Day. Harris called his opponent Donald Trump unstable and said that Trump was out for unchecked power. Harris also rallied in Wisconsin and North Carolina, spending her final week of the campaign telling voters that she would respect those who disagree with her and portraying former President Trump as a threat to democracy.
This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power. And look, in less than 90 days, either he or I will be in the Oval Office.
Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump rallied in North Carolina. During the campaign, Trump lashed out at President Joe Biden on Wednesday over a comment that appeared to label Trump's supporters as garbage.
Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. And they mean it, even though without question my supporters are far higher quality than Crooked Joe or Lying Kamala. My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just and you can't be president if you hate the American people. And there's a lot of hatred there. Kamala Harris is not fit to be president of the United States.
Meanwhile, the White House on Wednesday clarified President Joe Biden's garbage comment and said that he was not referring to all of President Trump's supporters, but it was against the one who said Puerto Rico as floating garbage in Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden.
He was not calling Trump supporters garbage, which is why he put out, this is why he wanted to make sure that we put out a statement that clarified what he meant and what he was trying to say. So he was regarding to the comedian, and I quote, "I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at the rally don't reflect who we are as a nation."
Well, preparations are underway as U.S. presidential polls near. Officials in Pennsylvania on Wednesday were making final preparations ahead of what is expected to be a large voter turnout. Hundreds of voting machines were locked, wrapped in plastic, lined up, awaiting delivery to local precincts. And Georgian President Salome Zurabishvili refused a prosecutor's summons for questioning over her allegation of election fraud at this weekend's vote. The investigation was opened after Georgia's opposition denounced the parliamentary elections as illegitimate. The president's refusal to appear before prosecutors has intensified the political standoff in Georgia, where opposition parties are echoing her claims of widespread irregularities and demanding accountability. And U.S. President Joe Biden celebrated Halloween at the White House. President Biden, alongside First Lady Jill Biden, handed out candy to trick-or-treaters, celebrating the spooky festival. The Halloween celebration comes just 6 days before Americans go to the polls to elect a new president. With Republican Donald Trump deadlocked in the polls against Biden's Vice President, Democrat Kamala Harris, this will be Biden's last Halloween at the White House.